Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and just when I thought that I had done my swan song with Legacy, Red Cog showed up for the holidays, and of course we're going to take a look at him now. Red Cog is a little bit more than meets the eye, pardon the pun, because while we did look at Cog before, and we will kind of retread a little bit of ground there is more in this package to explore as well. That's why I don't have him in my hand, because really he applies to so much more than just himself. You'll see what I mean when we dive into everything to do with Red Cog in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links, all of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. In fact, recently we added some new items. And of course, you can always hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And like I said, we're going to look at Red Cog, and there's more to him than just Red Cog. The reason I don't have him in my hand is because, well, he actually is going to kind of spend his life living on someone else. You'll see what I mean once we get there. As well, he does come with a bevy of other items that apply to other characters. There's a surprising amount to explore here, so without any further ado, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at that guy. Just when I think I'm done with Legacy, they pull me back in just a little bit because we have Red Cog here. Huge shout out to our buddy Maximal10 who hooked me up with this for the holidays. Can't thank him enough, really. Around my neck of the woods, this retailed for a Voyager price. Is it actually Voyager? No, not even close. This, with all of the bits and pieces on, clocks in at 102 grams. Typical Voyager, 145 to 165. This guy, originally, when he came out as just Cog, was 30 bucks, right? Even then I thought it was a little much, but you know what? He could do a lot, so I think I might have even given him an Innocent way back in the Siege line, because he could accomplish so much, and my copy had fantastic tolerances. Yes, we do have some extra bits and pieces added here, and yes, I will even say that I think maybe he should have had his own price point. Do I think it's enough to call it a Voyager price point? No, I'm sorry, that was too much, which is why, at least around here, these have really only sold when they've gone on sale. I don't know what it's like in the US, can't speak to that, but I can only speak to it here, and I know here, people have waited till he went on sale. I'm glad to have him because I really like the weaponizers and I really like Cog, and I really like this color scheme, but we're gonna get to that. Before we get to him, we have to look at the packaging first, and here we have a guy looking very Cog-ish right there. Same over here. A lot of people have said that this iteration of Cog, yes, it is the security officer from the War for Cybertron trilogy that was on Netflix, but some people have said, well, this coloration, this version would go nicely with the Takara Grand Max. You could certainly do that. I would still use this with Fort Max, but I could understand somebody using it with their Grand Max for sure. Over here, the Autobot stuff that we usually see for Legacy, and back here we see him armed up with a lot of his gear, and we see kind of all of his bits and pieces here, and his alt mode. I'm not going to belabor this too much because we already looked at Cog a long time ago. And when I say a long time ago, I mean about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, somewhere like that. And he was in episode 489. 489, long time ago. Yeah, so here is all of the stuff. Interestingly, I don't happen to see on this the I guess, the code that we normally see for these to be able to go scanned and take you to the website where you see the stats for the guys. And the dude comes with a bunch of instructions. Since there's so much to show here, I'm not going to belabor and show all of the kind of cog configurations. Like over here you can see that the head and upper torso that's gray can become like a hand blaster, with his arms and his lower torso and tummy becoming the backpack. I will show the backpack, but his legs, and I'll just take off a leg to show you here now. The legs, all you do is you put the thigh into the actual leg, and now you would use this peg, and he has boots. That's what this up here is showing. So, I mean, you can do all of that sort of stuff that you were able to do with the original cog, and I think I showed a couple of different configurations. That's the joy of like the whole weaponizer gimmick, is that they can do so many things. And here we have Red Cog in his robot mode with everything on him. Some of this technically sort of belongs to some other characters. Some of it is just extra, period. So I didn't show each of his accessories, but I will as we kind of get going here. Maybe that's the best way to do this. We're going to start by taking this blaster off of the arm. There. And with this blaster off of the arm, yes, you could stick something in the front here, but this is technically meant for a ratchet. This is like a welder, a laser, a cutter, or repair thing. He uses it in the War for Cybertron program. And then we have these two, if I can get them off. And they can go together, but technically these are sticky grenades. They were also used by Wheeljack and Transformers Prime, but you could certainly put them with our beauty boy Earthrise Wheeljack. I mean, he can certainly wield them. Why not? And because they have 5mm pegs, you can kind of stick them to anyone, which is good since they're supposed to be sticky grenades. And next up, I think we'll take this one off from over here. This, though I don't actually have him in hand here, this is a 3-barreled shotgun. Anybody could use it, but it is really meant to be very reminiscent of the blaster that came with Combiner Wars Streetwise. So it's an homage back to Combiner Wars. But again, this is just an extra one that could, like, anybody could use, I suppose. Then we have this one here, and this is a long-range, like, snipery type of thing that really could be used for one of two people, but I'm going to use it with a Legacy Elita 1. I know, it's not the Netflix Elita 1, but Elita 1 in the program did use this. I'm pretty sure Chromia did too, but you know what? Why not give it to her? Now, there's a reason that I did that, because by rights, this over here is an homage to Chromia's blaster, and I'm going to show you Chromia's blaster as well. This here, now you could use a different back end that's more reminiscent of this dark blue back end, but the front is what it is. So yeah, by the way, the back end, the alternate back end that could go with this to make it look even more like this is currently being used with the 3-barreled shotgun piece. So you can mix and match. And I won't lie at all. Honestly, as much as I detest this chromium mold, that looks pretty good in her hand, but you can take this apart and use this back piece for something else. I'm gonna get to it now in just a moment. We still have this here. This is an Energon rod that Bumblebee and RC picked up when they visited Sound Blaster in the War for Cybertron trilogy. So you could pair it with Sound Blaster, or you could pair it with RC, or you could pair it with Bumblebee, or really whatever works for you. Now, I did mention that this piece could be used conversely for something else. And I'm going to position it, if I can, in an attempt to kind of show what this could be used for, if I'm lucky. Now hear me out. You can take your Paradron Medic or you can take your Earthrise RC and remove this piece all together. And there's a big hole in the middle of her back. Move the this, I guess, backpack piece up a little bit, and you can take that blaster and it slots in there. Why would you want to do that? Well, though I'm going to show it here with regular cog, you can take the main torso and you can have the legs on there, turn the legs around, put the arms in on the bottom of the feet, and now using this peg, you can put that in there. And now you can have the over-the-shoulder blasters that RC sported in the program. By the way, you could take on regular cog, it's silver piece. On red cog, it would be this gray piece. And you can take that, and if you want, you can put it in RC or the Paradron Medic's hand as an added blaster. It certainly makes her... It certainly makes her a bit side heavy though. You can do it. I don't know if I would advise doing it, but you can certainly do it. So why did I show all of that? Well, because there is a lot that comes with this guy. And you know what? While the mass certainly wasn't there for a Voyager price, maybe the fact that we have parts here that interact with RC, with Chromia, with Elita 1, with Wheeljack, and with Ratchet, as well as a couple of custom pieces that you could use with other ones, maybe there's added value in terms of usage. What I'm showing here with with regular cog is exactly the same thing you can do with red cog. If you want, of course, you could take these full pieces off and give her feet, right, like I showed earlier, and just take the arms and kind of peg them on right here. It's a little hard to get them up over the shoulder then, but you can do it. You can configure things the way you want. Speaking of red cog and regular cog, here they are both together. When I think of cog, of course I think of this. The red cog, like I said, he was one of the recolors from the trilogy. I think he was like a security officer. There was a yellow one as well, and I think a green one as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we'll ever get those. I don't know if I really need those, but I do like this guy. Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been nice if we had silver paint on this gray again, but overall, I'm pretty darn happy here. A lot more black than I thought there was going to be, but I'm not angry about it. Let's do the transformation. So I'm just going to take this guy out of it. We're going to do the transformation to vehicle mode here. Actually, before the transformation, let's talk about that color. Again, you know, I feel like there was probably some more, I don't even know how to say it, some more red on him in the actual show. Although, the more I think about it, and the more I kind of look at like images, there wasn't much. Around this peg here, this black peg, this section here on his tummy should be red, but the arms are pretty much right. The legs were pretty much black. Like, yeah, I think it's just some off of his tummy, if I'm being fair and honest. So I'm going to give it a 9.5. Why not? In terms of articulation, the head goes left and right. I guess you can make it look up, not really any down. The arm goes all the way around. I find it very tight. Great tolerance. This arm goes all the way out. Starsaber's arm doesn't go out this far. But yeah, all the way out if you want to get this out of the way. This piece here can pick up or collapse on the arm a little bit more, right? Depending on what you need it to do. We do have a waist, which is nice since the guy comes apart. It's nice that they were able to build in a waist. We have legs that can't really go back very far, but they can go all the way forward. Thigh swivel. They can go all the way out to the side. I just pulled that one off. That was my fault. Any wrist? No wrist. Knee to 90 degrees for sure. And ankle tilt. It has pretty much everything I would want. Luckily, my copy has really great tolerances, stands like a champion. I'm going to give it a solid 9.5. Why not? So we have like a 9.5 and a 9.5. the guy's pretty great so far. Let's do the transformation. And we're going to begin by taking the legs off. And we're going to just lay that down. Actually, we're not just going to lay that down. We're going to fold the waist in. Now we're going to lay it down because we're going to use this rectangular tab later. I've heard that the connection is super loose. Is it? We're going to find out. I'm going to next remove the arms of our boy Cog. And I just took them off at the shoulders. And I should be able to... Nope, this way. Is it this way? That was this way. Yeah, okay, so I just had to make sure I had things the right way. And there, I was trying to plug the wrong thing, and I was trying to plug, there's a hole on the underarm, on the forearm, and I was trying to peg that down over this, but that's not what you do. You use this peg, and you use this peg hole. And you put that in there. I guess I should actually turn that around. Some people put these, by the way, down on the sides or something. That's up to you how you do that. I'm going to put that up there. And I guess, like, again, the front and the back, or the top and the bottom, are gasket and grommet. They go together to make Cog. So here's one of them, our tank lad, and that leaves the upper body. In terms of the upper body, I'm just going to push that ahead a little bit. In terms of the upper body here, all we do is fold the head down, and that's it. That's all we got to do there. We have a slot right here, and I guess if you wanted, you could turn the head around. Now, some people actually leave it like this and don't put it down at all. I do. I put it down. But that's up to you. We have a slot right here. We have a peg right here. Let's see how well mine actually fits together. Yeah, no, mine's fine. Mine's tight and solid and rolls like a champion. I think the transformation's great. Honestly, I really enjoy it. I'm going to give the transformation a solid 9.5. I think it's wonderful. But that's not really what I want to use this guy for. I don't want him to kind of live like this. I'll have regular Cog live like this. This guy, I want him to live his best Titan life on Fortress Maximus. The two blasters that should be with him are there on his arms. His pelvis is up here as like a double shoulder blaster. His head and upper torso shield section is over here on the leg drone, I suppose. And then using the legs with the red arms attached, we get those red hip cannons that Fortress Maximus is so famous for having. The nice thing is, because of the peg that they plug in on, what you can do is take it and actually rotate the whole thing around. Now, I picked this out, though I probably shouldn't have. And you can still fold that up on the back if you don't want to have anything sticking out. And between Cog and Red Cog, if you want, you could use the mix of blue and the mix of red and get the ideal mixture that you want. A lot of people felt that Fortress Maximus was a little lackluster back in the day. But if you arm him up correctly with a couple of Cogs, you know what? He's pretty fantastic. And Red Cog, overall, he's pretty fantastic too. Overall score, I'm going to give him a 9.5. I love the dude. And here we are once again, and as you know by now, Red Cog is basically going to spend the majority at least of his life on Fortress Maximus. I did have the original Cog on Fort Max, and to be fair, I may end up kind of mixing and matching some of the parts. We'll have to wait and see. However, through some machination, whether you use Cog or Red Cog or some amalgamation of both of them, you really manage to get the very popular, I guess we'll call them hip cannons, that Fortress Maximus is known for. As well, it could also apply to Grand Max if you happen to get the Takara Grand Max. There's
a measure of versatility to him. Now, I'm lucky because really my joints and whatnot work quite well. I have heard some issues of tolerances, but mine are pretty darn good, I have to say, and I'm quite happy about that. I think as he is by himself, yeah, he's certainly a deluxe. And I scored the original well, and I scored this guy well. He does come with some extra bits and pieces. Do I think it's enough to really warrant a Voyager price? No. But do I think it's more than a deluxe? Yes. I kind of feel like he probably should have had his own price point, to be fair, at least here in Canada. I like the sticky grenades for wheel jackets. Neat. I especially like the, I'll call it welder, for lack of a better laser scalpel, whatever, for Ratchet. I really think that's good. And I like the kind of bevy of armament that's able to be used, especially that rifle that I paired with Alita. To be fair, I didn't show the actual, I guess, barrel and handle that should go together for the Chromia blaster because I kind of had other ones put together. But you can really make, if you know that Siege Chromia, you can basically mimic that exact same blaster, except now it's all gray and a little bit bigger. I think that there's great value here. I think there's great versatility here. I think that it is what I like to call a deluxe plus. I think for full Voyager price, bit overpriced, but on sale, even if that sale is a little bit more than regular deluxe retail, I think it's worth it. You gotta kind of strike at him at the right moment. I'm a big fan. I like the cog mold, I like the weaponizer gimmick, and I like the things that came with this one because it does give added value to a number of other characters. To me, Red Cog is an absolute win. Maybe not quite for the full price, but certainly worth a little bit more than deluxe. Take that for what you will. Let me know what you guys think about Red Cog. Are you a fan or not? I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Like I said earlier, we have some new items up there. Or, of course, you can always hit the join button and become a channel member at any given time. Hit the subscribe button, stick around please, have some fun with us here on the channel, and especially remember that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here, inside the videos.